Hey seniors, welcome to another day of solving equations. Today our equations are going to be slightly more complex in that there are going to be constants and variables on both sides of the equal sign. So let's go ahead and jump in. On your notes page, go ahead and draw your line and go ahead and write solving equations across the equal sign. Don't worry about this yet, just be with me, I'll tell you what to write. In order to solve equations with variables on both sides, we have some steps. Combine the variables and keep it positive if possible. I just want you to write one, combine the variables. Our second step is to combine constants. And then the third is to isolate the variable. And then of course you would solve for your variable from there. And if your problem shows you the distributive property, of course you would do that, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so go ahead and write example 1 on your notes page, and then 8x equals 12x plus 12. My first step is to combine variables. I need to get the variable on one side and the constants on the other side. So since 8x is already on the left side, I'm going to go ahead and move this 4x to the other side. And of course the way that I do that is I just subtract 4x from both sides. And that leaves me with 8x minus 4x gives me 4x equals 12, since my 4x's cancel out on this side. Then it becomes super simple. All I have to do is solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. My 4's will cancel out. That leaves me with x equals 12 divided by 4 is 3. So x equals 3. We can go ahead and check our work by plugging that back in. So let's go ahead and plug x equals 3 back into our original equation. So I have 8 times 3 equals 4 times 3. Whoops, that doesn't look very good. Equals 4 times 3 plus 12. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 12. So since both sides equal each other, I was correct in saying that x equals 3. Let's do another one. All right, go ahead and write example 2, and then negative 2x minus 4 equals 2 times 2x plus 4. All right, my first step, since it looks like this right side of the problem I'm going to have to distribute, is to do the distributive property. So let's go ahead and rewrite our left side. And then 2 times 2x is going to give me 4x. And then 2 times 4 is going to give me 8x. So now what I have to do is get my variables on one side. And I want to keep it positive. So since 4x is positive, I'm going to move 2x to the right side of our equation. So I'm just going to add 2x to both sides. My 2x's will cancel out. I'm left with negative 4 equals 6x plus 8. I still have to isolate my variable, so I'm going to move 8 over to the other side. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. My 8's will cancel out. That's going to leave me with negative 12 equals 6x. My last step here is just to solve for x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 6. My 6's will cancel out. Negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. So I'm left with x equals negative 2. Or, if I want to write it this way, same thing. Let's go ahead and check our work by plugging x equals negative 2 into our original equation, just to make sure we were correct. And again, this is the easiest way to check your work. If you're not sure you got the right answer, plug it back in and see if both sides equal the same thing. All right, so I'm just plugging negative 2 back in for x. So negative 2 equals 2 times negative 2, oh, that's a positive 2, negative 2 plus 4. Again, I need to remember my order of operations. So I'm dealing with my parentheses first. So negative 2 times 2 is going to give me positive 4 minus 4 equals 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 4. And that's going to give me 4 minus 4 is 0, 2, and then negative 4 plus 4 is going to give me 0. And then, of course, 2 times 0 is going to give me 0 equals 0. So I was correct in saying that x equals negative 2 because both sides equal the same thing. Let's do another one. Here, I don't have to distribute, but I do have variables and constants on the wrong side of the problem. So I need to isolate my variable. go ahead and write example 3, and then 14x plus 8 equals negative 24 minus 2x. So again, my first step is to get the variables all on one side and the constants all on one side. So 14x is on the left side. I'm going to move 2x over to keep it positive. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. All right, my 2x's are going to cancel out. That's going to leave me with 16x plus 8 equals negative 24. I still have to isolate my variable. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8 from the left side and on the right side. And again, my 8's will cancel out. I'm left with 16x equals negative 32. I'm going to go ahead and isolate my variable by dividing both sides by 16. My 16's will cancel out. I'm left with x equals negative 32 divided by 16 is going to leave me with negative 2. Again, I could check my work by going back and plugging it back in, but we need to move on. So let's go ahead and assume that we're correct. You guys can plug it back in on your own time. And the biggest takeaways we need to take from today are make sure that your variables and your constants are on the same side of the equal sign, or on opposite sides of the equal sign. Isolate your variable, solve for your variable, check your work by plugging it back in. That's it for me. Let's go ahead and practice.